Hello, fellow teachers, and welcome back to the Teachers Trainers channel. My name is Warren Hammond, and you are at the one-stop shop for all your teaching tips, activities, and insights. Today, guys, is all about writing. Let's get stuck in. So today is all about writing in the ESL classroom. And you know why I've chosen this one? It is because so many teachers, they're struggling to get their students writing. So that is why, from what I can see, it seems that writing for an academic purpose is really what teachers think they have to do when teaching writing. However, no matter what skills you are teaching, writing can have enormous benefits in helping students with all the other skills. So much so that I think I could have made a whole video just on this. You know, whenever I ask teachers what difficulties they have with writing in class, they all say very similar things. They find it boring somehow. The students find it really difficult. They don't really know where to start, and often they don't really have these steps to kind of follow. So the technique that I'm going to be bringing you guys today is to be used for students of primary school, secondary, adults that are pre-intermediate, and all the way up to advanced. It is a game changer for helping students with some of the most common problems they face when writing in class. So before we get into how to do it, let's quickly go over some of the most common problems students face when attempting any type of writing in class, and why this technique is so helpful. So here they are. They lack ideas, not sure what to put into their writing. They don't have the vocab, lacking all the vocab and perhaps the grammar to go with it. Not knowing how to structure their writing or really getting some creative ideas. And finally, they just lack interest in doing the writing itself. So this technique that we are about to dive into is called guided writing. And it is so helpful for mitigating all those problems we just mentioned earlier. And just like everything else we share on this channel, it is a lot of fun. Here is how it works. Starting with, draw one big square on the board and write the word name, personality, and appearance on the top. Underneath that, draw 3 separate boxes next to each other: morning, afternoon, and the third box, evening. Explain to your students that you are collectively, as a class, going to come up with a super cool story all about an awful day. Feel free to change the topic if you need to what is more applicable and, of course, to the lesson that you're teaching. Tell them to choose the character in the story, the name, country, the age, occupation, appearance, personality, and so on. And you're going to find that the teacher is going to write all these ideas down on the board. This is the perfect chance to help them with their ideas, vocab, and grammar, or any other target words, target language they might not remember. Once the name, appearance, and the personality is done, then you can move on to the next sections. In the morning. What happened in the morning? What happened to that character in the morning on that awful day? Next up, once all ideas have been noted down on the board, remember, these are all the ideas the students have given you. Once they're all up on the board, using an A4 kind of piece of paper, cut it up into 3 equal parts. And divide your class into 3 teams with no more than like 3 or 4 students per team, if you can. Now, don't worry if the teams are sort of uneven. Just try to make them as equal as possible. You'll see why later. Now, of course, if it's a really large class, do not be afraid to divide them into 6 groups instead of the 3. Now, that just means that you'll have to take the 2 pieces of A4 papers and cut them up, and that will still work perfectly fine for your class. After the teams have been divided up and you got your class into groups, assign each team a box that was up on the board. These teams are going to be morning team, an afternoon team, and finally, of course, the evening team. Then ask each team to write down a part of the story using the ideas they had up on the board there. Grab those ideas, especially, of course, the ones inside the box, plus any or all of their own ideas. That's the important part. For example, Team Morning will only write down exactly what happened to the character in the morning only, and of course, using the ideas that they had off the board. The next team, which would be the afternoon team, same thing. whatever happened to the character, to our awful day character, whatever happened to this person in the afternoon, that's what they're writing, using the ideas on the board plus some of their own. And the same applies again for the evening section. Next is to give them a time limit, around about 10 minutes. If they're a bit stronger, perhaps you can give them lesser time, but about 10 minutes or until they've finished. Collect up their stories, bring them all together, and now ask one of each of the groups, one student from each team to come on up. So you'll have one student from the morning, one from the afternoon, and one from the evening. Have them up in front of the class, and what you're going to find now is that they will, from start to finish, from the morning to the evening, will have a complete or a whole story. I promise you guys, you are going to see how fun this story links up, how all their ideas, as crazy as they were, and some of them as random as they were, will all build into one complete story called An Awful Day. This, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly how we apply the technique that we call guided writing. It is used to encourage our students to deal with all those issues we had before. It helps them to write while eliminating all of those most common difficulties, problems that both the students and the teachers face. Guys, I hope this helps and that you enjoy running this activity in your classes as much as I do in my classes with my students. I love it. And of course, if you want to know more about writing, click here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sharing the videos around. I hope it helps. We're going to be bringing out plenty more. Don't forget to like, subscribe, watch all the videos we have here. And of course, and as always, this is Warren Hamid, writing and signing out. Happy teaching, guys.